Very good. Just wait for a couple more minutes for folks to join in. While we're waiting, if any of you have, I know a couple of you were in the last session, and the April webinar. If you have any questions or if you were able to go back and implement any of those, I believe we talked about local search and some SEO in the last session. Looks like you have everything under control. That's good. Let's go ahead and get started. I guess people can join in as they time. So today's topic, as I mentioned in the email, we're going to focus on content marketing. Because in the previous sessions, we really touched a lot on uh, local search, SEO, and the website design, and just the conversion techniques and stuff. And the next big thing is now you have all these strategies in place and what makes sense for you to personalize your brand and your message to really reach the target market that you're going after. So just an overview for content marketing. So there are a couple of different ways that we market to our target market. Traditional methods, cold calling, cold emails, ads on the websites or on TV, that type of interruptive ads. These are like marketer centric, what we call them. We still use them to some extent. We do send out cold emails to people sometimes. Some people respond, some don't. It really depends on who we are targeting and how urgent the problem that they're facing is to talk to us about the solution. And cold calling, probably not many of us doing it, not many small businesses anyway. Large businesses still do telemarketing, and it's all number game. So the more they call, they may hit some people who they may be able to convert. So traditional marketing is still out there. To some extent. But as far as the small businesses are concerned, it's really inbound marketing is what seems to be effective historically in past 7, 8 years. So inbound marketing is where we are really serving up the content to our target market, our prospective clients when they're really looking for it. And some of the techniques that we use for inbound marketing are SEO, blogging. These are customer centric. These are really when people are searching for um, with the keywords, long tail keywords these days. Really, they type a whole question in the search box on Google, and Google is able to figure out which websites may have content related to that topic and um, really serve up that content to the people who are searching for it. So it's inbound in the sense that that content is showing up to them only when they're looking for it, right? So in that, so inbound methodology, and I show this slide or this concept every time we talk about content marketing, because this is the basic. This is not going to change how we're going to approach inbound methodology to reach our prospective clients, or how they find us online, right? So attracting the consumers to your website. This is basically when they're searching with the long tail keywords. If you have optimized your website for local search or SEO with the proper content, not necessarily just single keywords anymore, it's long tail keywords, then your website is going to show up on page 1 or 2. People are going to click on it and end up on your website. So the strangers are now visitors on your website or blog, wherever they landed on. And this can be from SEO or social media or pay-per-click campaign. So any of these strategies, people found you and landed on that particular web page or the landing page for that topic, right? So now they are on that page. So how do you really go about converting those visitors into leads, right? So first of all, you need to have compelling content on that landing page. When I say landing page, it's not necessarily a standalone landing page, which can be if it's coming from ads. But even on a full-blown website, they're landing on a page which is really catered for the long-tail keyword topic that they're searching for, right? So when they landed on it, compelling content on the website, on that page. So whether it's text content, picture, video, in any format that's really telling them enough about what what their problem is and how the solution, what the solution is for their problem and how it's going to solve their problem, right? So that's to pique their interest, and the goal is to convert those visitors into leads. So there are different ways you can do that. We're going to touch upon those in the next slides. So if nothing else, you're going to ask them to fill out a form so that you can reach out to them with the marketing automation, with email marketing, or any type of strategies that you have in place to touch base with them once they leave your website. So that's a must to do to collect that lead information in terms of forms. And call to action can be anything: watching a video, downloading an ebook, or any number of those things. Now the visitors became your leads. Now, how do they become your customers, right? So that's the closing stage. Closing stage is where we have these other strategies for CRM, customer relations management. There are a lot of different tools that you can use to manage that. If you're using like simple email tools such as MailChimp or Constant Contact, you have CRMs associated with it. But nowadays, the trend is taking your email marketing to the next level with marketing automation. We're going to talk about that in the towards the end of this presentation. But that's how you're going to pursue those leads that landed on your website once or twice, filled out their information. Now you're able to get in touch with them really by personalizing the message based on what type of content they were looking at when they landed on your landing page, and what's the best way to close them, right? So you have to pursue them with a couple of more times with more content, and to really convince them in terms of how you're the best choice for the solution that they're looking for. So the last step is a delight. So you were able to close that customer. Now you're not going to just leave it at that stage. So you have to do survey with them, collect testimonials from them, and really help them become your promoters. So to promote your product or service, and the best way to do that is by providing them with good post-sale customer service by sending them smart content. So now they have your products or service that they purchased. Now, how do they really make use of that product or service to their benefit to solve, to implement in their business, whether it's a B2C, if it's a consumer, the service or the product. So it just depends on the type of target market. So all of these comes in the delight stage. And this also helps you to keep you in top of their mind, so that when the next time they're gonna look for products and services, you're gonna upsell to them or resell to them, depending on what they're looking for. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what inbound methodology is. So going a little bit deeper into that concept, we have, the just really catering proper content to them, depending on what stage of their buyer's journey is. So this is really critical in preparing content, right? So you have to have content prepared for different stages of this buyer's journey. So these are really three main stages in any buyer's journey. So becoming aware of the problem that they have, that's the awareness stage, and the next step is the consideration stage, and the last one is decision stage. So awareness stage, so they're looking for, the example I have here is about, someone getting a sore throat, but in any other situation, let's say we have an issue with plumbing in our house. So that's the awareness stage. So we know something is happening. We know there's an issue with the plumbing. So the next stage would be, what are my solutions to get that problem fixed, right? So in the consideration stage, we try to figure out, okay, how serious this problem is, and depending on, you're the subject matter expert in what you do. So if you're a plumber, then you know what are the different issues that can be at a house with plumbing, and what are the symptoms of that, right? So they're going to look for that type of content to really understand what kind of issues they're facing with, so that they can understand the seriousness of it before really going and looking for a provider who can fix that problem. Of course, they're not the experts in that, but any educated consumer becomes a best consumer for long term. So it's important for you to prepare content for that, to educate them when they're looking in that consideration stage. And the last stage is the decision stage, where, okay, so they know there's a problem, and they know what the symptoms are and what possible solutions are, and who are the in the decision stage, they're really looking at who are the providers that providing this solution, and what's the best value that they're offering. So that's where they're making the decision. So this is how you really kind of plan your content for any topic in your business. If you cater to a target market with different products and services, then depending on how those different product services are tied into different problems that these consumers will have, you're going to, come up with a theme for that particular topic, and really prepare content for each and every one of those topics. So content, getting the content together is a big deal for a lot of businesses. It is time consuming, but in the long term, having good content, you can reuse that same content for years to come by tweaking it a little bit. So it's really important for you to take the time to do that research and come up with great content. Now, creating and leveraging remarkable content. First and foremost, you make sure that you're not salesy in your content. So keep the content really educational, especially in the first two stages of buyer's journey, awareness and consideration. So because at this point, all they're looking for is who is the subject matter expert and how good they are. And that's really kind of builds credibility by keeping your content educational. So look at the context. So the second bullet here is inbound marketing is content plus context. So again, the context ties into the stage in the buyer's journey. So prepare content really for that particular stage. So don't be pushy and rushing them to buy at that time because they're not ready yet. So of course, when they're in the decision stage is when you are gonna uh, put more emphasis on your pricing, any discount you offer, and even if you're not the cheapest product or service in the market, uh, to make them realize why your solution is the best in the market, right? So that type of content. And really the third bullet is who are you creating your content for? Make sure that you really understand the target market, the demographics. Again, it ties into your product or service and who you're serving, and distribution of your content on multiple channels. So you can use all of these channels that are listed, website pages, your blog, social media, landing pages, in your call to action videos, for instance, and marketing emails. You can use the same theme in the content, tweaking it a little bit, and syndicate to all these different channels. Again, when it comes to social media, the same content can be used on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. You may choose to tweak it a little bit depending on if you're going to publish them multiple times a day, or uh, depending on how that solution really helps that problem that the customer is facing. If you have any questions, you can start typing them in the chat box. I will get to them towards the end of the session so that you don't miss any of the questions or clarification that you may need on these slides. And one of the most critical steps in creating content is SEO strategy. SEO is gonna, it's gonna stay. So it has evolved a lot over the years. Now it's more free form than anything else. So don't be really stuck on a certain keyword. Phrase. Google's algorithm is now a lot smarter. It can figure out the semantics of the keyword, and it's able to find content that really relates to that topic. So as long as your content flows organically and is meaningful and it relates to the topic that the client is or the prospect is searching online, that's what matters. But still, keyword research is a basic step so that you understand what keywords are being searched online and the volume of the keyword. Because, focusing on a keyword that it seems good to you, but if it does not have a lot of searches going on in the average monthly searches online, then you're going to be disappointed because you won't be getting as much traffic you expect to get on your website. So really make sure that you're paying attention to the keyword research tool, the different columns that's displayed in that data, where what the keyword is and what the competition for that keyword is. That's also an important factor, and how much searches that are going on online for that particular keyword. So just be reasonable in choosing the keyword that has a good number of good volume, search volume, so that you're getting enough traffic that you can consider that may convert to becoming your leads and customers. Right? So create content around your keywords. So just practice using long tail keywords like questions and answer type of stuff. So that's how people search nowadays, really long tail keywords. So just kind of be conscious of having that in the content, and optimize content around a primary keyword. If it's like a blood bank, for instance, blood bank can be a primary keyword, but There can be keywords synonymous to that. We call secondary keywords like heart or blood care and other blood places. So they can Google understands how to relate those the primary keyword and look for content that's synonymous to that particular keyword. And promoting the content on different platforms. And earn links to your content. So we talked about the SEO strategy in the previous session. So this is just kind of a highlight of SEO in the context of content marketing. Now, how do you prepare for content marketing? Some of the basic steps. So identify your industry, whether it's B2B or B2C, and who your competition is, and do industry research and competitive analysis and keyword research. This second bullet is going to give you a lot of information. Looking at your competitors or other businesses in the area, just kind of learn about on how they're preparing their content, what type of content. Also, um, identify a target market and create buyer personas. So these are some of the basic steps. Again, if you already have you know existing clients who are using your products and service that you're trying to promote, then survey with them and find out how they started using your products and service and how it's helping them and what you can do to improve. So things like that will help you prepare content around the products and services that are already in the market so that you can acquire more, broaden your target reach, and identify the social media platforms that you want to engage your prospects. This is important because once you have your content prepared, you need to know where you're publishing those content. So this comparative analysis and industry research will also help you figure this out. Once you have a target market, you know where that target market is really engaged in for content. So figure out which one of these brings you the most result. You may start out syndicating to all of these platforms, but really by measuring the data that's available on all of these, on how that data is received, you will know whether it's bringing you the results that you expected or stick with just one or two, just let the others go. So that's really by trying doing that exercise, you will find a long-term solution for how to publish your content. And verify your website with Google and install Google Analytics, because Google Analytics is another great tool for you to help you understand how good your content is received, depending on, if people are landing on certain pages on your websites or blog pages and you have a really high bounce rate, more than 50%, that means you need to uh, look at revising that content to reduce that bounce rate so that people can stay longer on those pages to view that content. And then the next thing is content planning, creation, and syndication, like physically going through those steps, right? So creating content with purpose. Without content, our internet is going to be empty. So because that's what we do on online. So we browse for any type of content, whether it's social, professional, entertainment, any type of content. We are that's our medium to go to look for content. So and when the content, inbound content is what I'm referring to. So I'm going to go look for content when I'm ready for it, when I'm good for it. So keep that inbound strategy in mind when you always do. So why inbound? 44% of B2B and 39% of B2C marketers have documented content strategy. So meaning they're using templates and content plans and all of these which are documented so that they can anyone in the company can follow that process over and over again for any type of content. So that's really key for for all of these stages that we talked about in the content marketing. And some of the other inbound campaign scenarios. And this is where I'm going to touch on marketing automation just quickly, because marketing automation by itself, it's a really broad topic. There are a lot of different ways that you can handle marketing automation, but at a very basic level, so we all know about email campaigns. These are the drip marketing campaigns. So sending out newsletters every few times a month, and we're looking at the statistics, how many opened, how many bounced, and things like that. But in this drip marketing campaign, we are not really tracking users' behavior. So we are not looking at how many people opened uh, an ebook or downloaded an ebook, or how many really viewed a video, how many clicked on a form. So any of these data, right? So we're just kind of blindly sending. This is time-based. Drip marketing is time-based campaign. So we're just scheduling emails to go out every once in a while. Uh, Going it one step further, it's lead nurturing campaign. So this is where we are sending out series of emails based on leads behavior, right? So we are setting up marketing automation in this scenario where we sent out an email. This user filled out a form, which was a link to the website from the email. So based on that behavior, which form they filled out, a few days later, you sent out another email to follow up on that. So there was and with that email, also there was a call to action. So then you sent out email a few days later. So until you reach that closing stage, you are following this lead nurturing campaign. You're really watching closely how the lead is using that content and pursuing them until you move them to that buying stage. Remarketing campaign. So this is a series of emails that get sent based off leads behavior on specific product or service. So in lead nurturing campaign, this is a little bit of a shorter cycle than remarketing campaign. In terms of remarketing campaign, so you sent out an email uh, and the user took an action the first time, and then this is a long-term cycle. So this may be a high value product or service. So you have to focus on hyper targeting lead nurturing campaigns. So it takes a little bit more work to close that sale. So you engage them in the remarketing campaign. So this can be by sending out repeated emails. And also there are other remarketing campaign strategies like I don't know if you've heard of Google display marketing, where you're following the leads on different websites and showing them your ads, showing them ads on Facebook. So there are a lot of different platforms that you can choose when you build remarketing campaigns. So Google remarketing is one of the popular ones that we build into when we build the Google AdWords campaign. So that's something that you can start learning if that's if you're interested in. And follow-up campaign. So this is a special case where people are not really receiving the content the way you expected them to. So you sent them an email, they did not do anything with it. Sometimes they did not even open it. Right? So in situations like that, you need little extra push to uh, to pursue these people who for inactions, right? So these are follow-up campaigns. In these cases, you may have to build some special type of strategies, special type of content to really convince them that what you're providing to them is useful to them. So this takes more work, but again, um, if you have done enough research on these companies and you know that these are worth going after, then that's something that you would want to engage in. Again, at some point, you have to give those up if nothing is happening. So this marketing automation tools that we use help you do that. You can set like a lifetime or the period how long you want to pursue certain leads, and when is the time to kind of archive them and give them up. That's something a process to implement if you're not already in your sales process. And post-sales campaign. This is something that we discussed in the delight stage in our inbound methodology. This is where you're sending out emails with smart content, more training on the product and service that your customers purchased, and requesting for testimonials, asking for referrals. So all of these fall under post-sales campaign. All right. Planning, creating the content process. So it's defined by purpose, format, and topic. So these are the basic steps: planning, creating, distributing, analyzing, and repeating the same. So this applies to any business who is engaged in content marketing. Um, now, always, choosing the right format for content. Depending on who your content market is, this content format can also be a very critical criteria in your content marketing. If you are working with, let's say, B2B businesses, B2B businesses are a lot of times looking for a lot of different types of statistics on the products and service. Case studies. If when I go to pursue a client for SEO, they may be asking me for, okay, show me some of the clients that you worked with and what kind of results that you have provided to them in terms of bringing more traffic to the website through SEO, and how not just traffic, how well that traffic has converted into leads, that type of stuff. So case studies is a really good uh, practice for any business. And in this example that I just told you, it's easy for me to go into, using tools like Google Analytics. For every client, I can go generate reports for 3 to 4 months worth of reports, and to show the progress of, okay, this is how our keyword rankings have improved, and this is how much increase in percentage of traffic to the website, and this is how we have reduced the bounce rate on content pages. So all this type of data is supporting for the quality of service that we offer. And videos is a lot of times for really kind of explaining if it's a product, if it's a tangible product, for instance. A lot of times, unless people see the demo of how to use that product, they cannot make a decision. So it's important for you to have a demo of that product so that they know how that product works, how it's easy to operate that, and so that they can make a decision on whether to purchase this or not. If it's a service, then the videos can be a testimonial from your clients, and just a short video by you explaining the type of service and how it can benefit their uh, business, or if it's a consumer, and then provide them with more links to either look at case studies or testimonials and things like that. And infographics, this is again, a lot of businesses use this, a lot of numbers. This requires months worth of data to generate, but it's a good comprehensive data for people to look at. And anyone can create these infographics if you have the data. There are tools available out there. For any type of business to generate infographics. White papers. This is most commonly used. White papers and ebooks are very commonly used format for content that we use as call to action on the websites, and for people, when we collect leads from people when they fill out a form, ebooks or white papers can be an incentive for them to download. And calculators and worksheets. These are like for people like Deborah, for business coaching, worksheets and type of stuff. And for some other products, calculators for return on investment or for mortgage type of stuff. These are all different type of content. And research reports, webinars, for education, and SlideShare is one of the websites you can use to kind of publish some of the presentations regarding your products and service. So this is all a type of education that you offer at different buyers stages, so they can learn from it. And this is in a kind of a nutshell, all the content tactics and all different type of formats that you can use to reach out to your clients and prospects. And how do you plan a strategy? Depending on your products or service, really understanding your target market or existing customers, how they're using your product and service, and how well you can document it. And really, instead of really spending a lot of time and making it costly for yourself generating new content, um, uh, look at what you currently have in terms of content. Doesn't matter whether it's your email newsletter or blog posts that you published in the past. You may be able to tap into those to tweak them and make them current and reuse them until you have time to build some new content assets, right? So tap into your existing content library and see where you lack content. If there are some new products and services, new strategies that you have started introducing to your client, those are some of the gaps that you have to fill. So those are the new content uh, categories that you need to focus on. Replace or remove outdated content for sure, to stay current, and improve the quality of content. And one of the other aspects that you need to keep in mind is revising the content to, if the content was not optimized, which we do this for a lot of our clients. They have blog posts from the past. We take them and really optimize them based on keywords, and make them more current, and republish them on the blog, on their blog. So that gives them more exposure in terms of search engines, so people can find those content or blog posts easily. And use content in new and different ways. Syndicate the same content on different platforms. If you're publishing to Twitter, make the posts shorter, use different hashtags, just tweak them a little bit. You may be linking that topic to the same blog post, but you can make the description look a little bit different to cover different aspects that that topic covers. So you can publish the same content multiple times. And really find resources to help creating an additional content, which we're going to cover in next couple of slides. And this is an important statistics that you want to keep in mind. What your content versus curated content versus syndicated content. 65% of it should be your original content created by your business. And again, this it can be coming from the content that you gathered from your help desk type of stuff, where customers are sending you questions, you're providing them. It's a knowledge base, really. So you can tap into your knowledge base based on the years of experience that you've had, and convert them into blog posts. So that can be really your original content, because those are very specific to your business, right? And then current trends in the industry and how you are keeping up to date to serve your clients in that ever-changing market, keep that competitive edge. And curated content, that's about 25%. And then 10% is syndicated content. So we'll explain what these mean in the next slide here. So original content, we already talked about what those are. Repurposing some of the brochures that you have in the print form. You can take that and make the best out of it and convert it into online. Not just the brochure itself, but make use of the content in that brochure to come up with the content. A blog post or a static page for the website online. Case studies. That this can be something you can come up with frequently based on new projects that you're working on. Testimonials can go on your websites as content with the supporting documentation on what type of products or service what that testimonial ties to. So all of these create good original content for you, because it really takes blood, sweat, and tears to create content. It's time, right? It's a lot of time we put into creating that content. And also any public speaking that you're doing, just a kind of gist of what you covered, who the audience was, so that that can become um, content for your public speaking type of side of your business. So just kind of be creative and innovative on how you're publishing your content. And then curated content is really written by someone but still involves some level of personalization. So the important thing to remember here is really cite who the original content producer is in that content, and then add your views or how you receive that content, as you know, as you view it, and what your opinion is about that particular topic, and how you think it matters to your clients, right? So this is a content from somebody else, but still you're helping your target market to understand it. You're personalizing it for them by explaining to them your views on that particular topic. And uh, this is really about sharing, again, sharing all of these original or curated content on blog posts and social media to get those social signals from these other platforms into your website. It's one of the criteria for search engine optimization as well. So it's really important to make sure that you're publishing your content with these social media platforms from your website. And then some of the other things is, keyword research, of course, tells you what type of topic is important to people, so you can base your topic around that. Again, focus on long tail keywords like question and answer type of stuff in the keyword research for that. And look on the internet forums, popular industry news, and your sales and support FAQs. That's your knowledge base. And again, your experience of your uh, working with your current customers. What are the day-to-day challenges that they face, and what are their goals in the position that they're currently in, and how your products and services are helping them achieve those goals. And different formats that make sense in different types of different stages of content marketing, or different buyers to tap into different stages of buyer's journey, right? So in the awareness stage, when they're still learning about their problem, these are the different formats that analytics reports, research reports, to learn more about the problems that they're just becoming aware of, white papers, and really educational content. And once they move on to the consideration stage, you're providing them with a little more in-depth information with expert guides, because at this point you're talking about what are the different solutions that are available out there to address the problem that they became aware of. So for this, some of the formats that we recommend are webcasts, podcasts, videos, comparison tables, the comparison white papers, and live interactions, of course, one-on-one meetings to set up, uh, whether it's a virtual meeting, to explain to them what those problems are. And when they move on to the decision stage, here is where they're really kind of crunching the numbers, looking at the prices, and the value that solution or that provider provides, the testimonials, live demo, product literature, and if it's a new product, if it's service, then a trial download. So let them use your products or service for a couple of weeks, so they learn about that product before they jump into it. And product comparison, if there are similar products in the market, really have that information handy, how your products compares to others in the market, and what the pros and cons are. And of course, a vendor comparison in the same context. So this is just another example of awareness stage, providing with the right content. In the awareness stage, if it's my customer or the prospect, I'm sending. So if they're looking for, okay, my website is not optimized and people are not converting when they land on my website. So that's their awareness stage. So that's an issue for them, right? Based on the statistics that they see. So the type of content I'll give to them is, what are the optimization tips for improving your website conversion rate? So that makes sense to them at that stage. Now, Moving on from that would be okay, so I need to optimize my website to improve the conversion. So that's I know that I need it now. So how do I do it, right? So one of the steps may be for them to really redesign their website. So I'm going to send them out an ebook regarding steps to redesigning your website. So it's not necessary that I'm in the website redesign business, so I'm not telling them, hey, you go redesign your website. What I'm telling them here is these are all the different things that you want to consider because it's their business. So they know what all the research data they need to have beforehand before uh, hiring someone to redesign their website. So those are all the tips that I'm giving them in this ebook. And then they're moving on to decision stage. I am uh, setting up a demo with them on what is the to show them what are the different options for conversion designs that I can offer to help them get more visibility and more conversion from leads to clients on their website. So just an example on the type of content, how you would design content for different stages of the buyer's journey. And so this is again understanding your persona or your buyer's profile. It really goes a long way in designing your content. So who your persona is or who your target market is, and what is that this she's looking for, the problem, and this is in consideration state. So see, I am uh, preparing a content sheet for each stage in my content marketing. So I'm preparing content for the consideration stage. So I'm preparing content on tips for how to redesign websites. So and what are the different formats? I have that here. So this is a very handy worksheet to have. I can send it to you if you like. So just kind of do this exercise on maybe a couple of topics um, that you promote to your prospects, and this will really goes a long way in helping you preparing your content marketing or really the content. So the good thing about this is now I have defined what the keyword is and what the topic. Now I can give this to my content writer and she will run with it. So she will go do the research, gather content from all the different resources that are in the same industry, and put together compelling content that I can use in my marketing automation. Right, and so the best practices which we have kind of have been talking throughout the presentation. So always focus on mapping your content to the personas and their buyer's journey. Less is more. So really keep your content very precise. Don't draw the content out before you make your point, right? So make it easy to read. Keep it educational, not promotional, until a decision stage, and then really focus on the informational part of the content first. So you may just sit there if you're writing the content by yourself, for example. So just start writing the content in a Word document. Don't worry about the format, the SEO friendliness, and all that first. So focus on the informational part of it, and then you can easily incorporate all the other technical aspects of that content into that piece of content that you wrote. Again, another way for you also is if you think that, I always recommend to my client, really give me your content. I really would like to use the content from your point of view because you are in the business. So if you're a lawyer, you are out there doing, seeing your clients all the time. So you really understand the industry more than anybody else. Just give me raw content. So which we take and really format it nicely, convert it into different media, ebooks or white papers, blog posts, emails, and stuff. Um, After optimize them for search engine friendliness and making it easy to read. Again, make sure that the content is easy to read. One of the formats is bullets, right? So don't write long paragraphs. Okay, list highlight the topic and then highlight the benefits of it in bullet points. So people, especially while they're reading on mobile phones, they on their computer. It's totally different from how we read books, right? So paragraphs really don't cut it when it comes to website content. So make them easy to read with the format that's user friendly. And leveraging content, just use the content that you prepared on all of these different platforms again. And once you have started your content marketing and you're syndicating or publishing to all these different platforms, you really have to keep track of how this content is working for you so that you can go back and optimize that content, make improvements, and again, looking at the Google Search Console, you can also look at what are the some of the other keyword phrases related to this particular topic people are looking for. So you can generate more content around those topics. So look at all these different data, number of visits to that particular blog post or page. If you're have any form on that particular landing page where the content is, did that page generate any leads for you? Did they fill out any forms? And social proof, if you're publishing that particular post to social media, what's the social proof? How many people liked it, commented on it, shared it? And inbound links. How many people are linking this particular topic from their other website? So people may be using your blog post content to link from their content. So where if they found it useful, which we do all the time, this is one of the type of curating the content type of stuff. So they may have taken your content, used it, curated it to publish on their blog post, but it's generating a link from their website to your website, right? So that is another thing. And content, if you have multiple people writing in your company or in your business, then content performance by author, and which topic is performing better, and which format is performing better, whether it's a video or ebook or blog post. So all of these are good metrics for you to measure so that you can uh, keep improving your content marketing and get better results from it. And this is just another example for another company. This is a nonprofit organization that helps single parents to connect with their children, or especially fathers. So they conduct webinars for these parents to attend. So this is one of the webinars is one of their content formats to promote that nonprofit. And then the ebook about the ultimate guide to connecting with your child. So when they land on the nonprofit website, fill out their form, they let them download this ebook. And they also have workshops, online workshops for these dads to learn more about, how to understand their children, how to connect better with them. So these are all just really good examples of different formats of content and how you can be creative in your own business to generate this type of content that's helpful to your um, uh, business. Yeah, so worksheets, yeah, I'll make sure that I will upload those worksheets so you can download them from my website. I'll send them to the link following up on this webinar. And also, in addition to these worksheets, I have content planning calendars, which we use for every client that we do content marketing for. So that helps you define the themes for different topics, keywords, and the topic description itself, and then you can design the topic around it. So I'll send that content calendar as well. All right. So some of the research tools, really, I cannot stress enough the importance of using all the Google's tools that I've listed on the top here in the first bullet. Google AdWords is the and Google Keyword Planner. So they are tied together. So definitely, if you're running Google AdWords campaign already, the keyword research, keyword results from there, the reports are a good metrics for you to use in your content marketing as well. Because a lot of times businesses, when they're doing Google AdWords, they don't focus really on content marketing. They're just trying to generate some quick leads from Google Ads, but they're Google AdWords is gathering really good data for you based on how people are landing on your website from those Google AdWords ads. And Webmaster Tools, that's called Search Console now. Um, uh, and that gives you a lot of data about, even if you're not tracking the keywords, Google Search Console is tracking every website visit for the keywords that brought that traffic to that to your website. And Google Analytics, of course, gives you a lot more in-depth data into the content that you have on different forms of your website, your blog post, social media, and all of those. And the second bullet is for your content research. Feedly, Quora, Uber Suggest, Keyword Planner, and Google Search. You know how you go when you go to Google Search, Google starts suggesting you the search terms. So those, what those search terms are, Google has put them on the top because those are the most popular search terms for the topics that you're searching for. So these are all good research tools for your content. BuzzSumo, Topsy, these are good SEO research tools for you to figure out how your competition is doing, what keywords they're using, and how your website is doing in terms of content. So Ahrefs, a Content Explorer, and also Moz. Moz is always a good research tool for any of this content marketing. Hootsuite, most of you use it. Twitter Stream, Twitter, Pinterest. You can use this for infographics as well. And SlideShare for slides, Social Crawlytics, it gives you um, a really social monitoring tool, what kind of keywords people are using to search for your content on social media. And Keyword Tool Dominator and Growth Hackers, these are also some of the keyword tools. And this next slide gives you content. So the first slide was for content research, and this is for content creation. So Evernote, most of you use it also. Word to Clean HTML. So if you have content in your in a Word document, for instance, if you do a copy paste on that and put it on your website, it's going to look odd on your website. So because Word comes with a lot of formatting, that's not web friendly. So use this Word to Clean HTML tool, which converts your content into a clean HTML format before you copy it to your website. And some of the other tools here, Canva, I think I've mentioned this to you before, to create visual content, lead pages for landing pages, Infogram for infographics, and so on. And you can also create free ebooks with templates that are available on HubSpot as well. I think that's the last couple of my slides. Just really develop a marketing plan. Content marketing falls into a part of your marketing plan. So, having this plan really helps you keep yourself accountable on where you are in executing this plan, so that you can watch your progress and really kind of schedule throughout the year, which quarter I want to do what, and after maybe a year, you have all of this in place, so you can just run with that process again and again. Again, if you need help with any of these, of course, you can always reach out to me. Some of the resources available, again, I do a lot of content marketing for my business. You can find a lot of useful content on my blog. There are videos, white papers, blog posts, and webinar recordings, and all types of content that you can tap into. This is our last webinar until the fall, so have a great summer. I have one last event coming up this summer. That's on June 20th. I did not put this here. It's a Google Partners event. Emails are going to go out next week. So this is, some of you have attended this before. We had one in April. So this is, you had to be physically be present at the location where this event is held. So watch out for that email next week. And if you're available on June 20th, do register. It's going to be a great event. And that's all I have. If you have any more questions. Thanks, Deborah. I appreciate your feedback. And I will send those information on the worksheets out either later today or tomorrow. Thank you, Tatiana. You're always a good student. And recording for this is going to be available on my website, so you can watch it to reference to any of the other things that we talked about today. So it's always good to refresh while you're going through the process for your business. Thanks, Janie. Thank you all for joining today. I'll talk to you later.